Welcome to our channel. Have you ever wondered which Lincoln pennies are the rarest and most valuable? Stick around as we reveal some of the most astonishing pennies ever minted, coins that tell incredible stories and carry jaw-dropping value. Ever found a penny lying on the ground and thought, why bother? Most of us have. We walk past it, step over it, or maybe toss it into a jar and forget it exists. After all, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that one of those forgotten little coins could actually be worth more than a brand new laptop, or even a luxury vacation? Sounds impossible. Then let me show you why the very first coin in today's video might change the way you look at every single penny from now on. This isn't a coin with gold plating. It's not flashy. It's not covered in diamonds or made of silver. In fact, it looks exactly like the kind of penny you've probably had sitting in your kitchen drawer for years. But this one? This is the 1978 Lincoln cent, and if you've got the right one, it could be hiding a secret that makes it worth thousands. Let's take a closer look. The 1978 penny was minted in Denver. That's what the tiny D under the date stands for. It was part of the regular circulation, meant for everyday use. There were hundreds of millions of these coins produced that year. You could find them anywhere, in purses, pockets, vending machines, and coin jars all across America. It was as ordinary as it gets. And that's what makes it so incredible. Because among all those countless pennies, a few of them, just a rare handful, came out just a little different. We're not talking about dramatic differences. We're not talking about a penny with two heads or a misprint you can spot from across the room. No, this coin's secret is quiet. It's subtle. Hidden in plain sight. A small imperfection here, a faint error there, and suddenly what looked like just another coin becomes a collector's dream. Some of these 1978 pennies have been found with very specific characteristics that set them apart, things like a die crack near the rim or doubling in the numbers of the date. That means when the coin was struck, the die that stamped it had a flaw. Maybe it had been used too many times, or maybe it developed a tiny fracture. Whatever the case, that flaw left its mark on the coin. These errors are nearly invisible to the untrained eye. You might hold it under a light and think, looks fine to me. But a coin expert? They'd see that faint raised line near the number 8. They'd notice the mint mark looking just slightly distorted. They'd see something most people completely overlook. But a rare error alone isn't enough to send a coin into the stratosphere. The condition matters, a lot. You see, most of these coins were passed around from hand to hand. They got scratched, dropped, rubbed down, and eventually forgotten. That wear erases the very details collectors care about most. But every once in a while, someone saves one early. Maybe they noticed something odd. Or maybe, just maybe, it was pure luck. Imagine a coin like this sitting untouched for decades. No scratches. No fingerprints. No dulling of the red copper tone. Just perfect, original mint luster. That's what makes a coin truly valuable. One such 1978 penny was discovered in exactly that kind of condition. Flawless surface. No signs of circulation. Full red coloring, just like it came off the mint press yesterday. But what made it stand out was the combination of its condition and the subtle error in its design. A tiny die crack. A slight doubling in the date. Features that might seem like mistakes to most people, but to collectors, they're gold. This coin wasn't flashy. It didn't come with a spotlight or a fancy case. It looked like any other coin you'd get back in your change at the gas station. But when the right eyes saw it, when the details were examined under magnification, the coin told a different story. It became clear that this wasn't just a good-looking coin. It was a rare variety, and it was in exceptional condition. That combination of rarity and preservation is what collectors dream about. Because out of all the millions made, this one stood out. This one survived. And this one made headlines. Think about that for a moment. A coin most people would ignore, had actually become a treasure. And what was it worth? Not 1 cent. Not $1. Not $100. That one tiny coin, the size of your thumbnail, was valued at $7,000. Sometimes, value hides in the quietest corners. Not every treasure comes in gold or silver. Sometimes, it's wrapped in copper and tossed into a jar for 20 years. Sometimes, it's sitting in a roll of change you grabbed from the bank. Sometimes, it's already in your house. And here's the thing, these coins are still out there. Maybe in your junk drawer. Maybe in that old box of coins your grandfather saved. Maybe sitting unnoticed in your wallet right now. The 1978 D penny doesn't announce itself. But if you take the time to look, really look, you might just find one with that soft mint mark, that subtle crack, that near-perfect color. And if you do, you could be holding your very own hidden jackpot. So the next time you see a penny, don't brush it off. Take a closer look. Turn it over. Hold it under a light. Look at the date, check the mint mark, inspect the details. Because one of them could change your life. Let's move on to the second coin, and this one might just be the most surprising of all. It's the kind of coin that looks so familiar, so completely ordinary, that even if it passed through your hands a dozen times, you'd never give it a second glance. You might have spent one just like it at a vending machine or dropped it into a tip jar without thinking twice. But this coin? This is no ordinary penny. We're talking about the 1990 D Lincoln cent, a coin that, on the surface, looks like any other from that year. Same copper tone. Same Lincoln portrait on the front. Same Lincoln memorial on the back. The date reads, 1990, and just below it sits a small D, the mint mark indicating it was struck in Denver. Now, here's the twist, there's something strange about this penny. Something that sets a rare few apart from the rest, and it all comes down to an error so subtle, so easily overlooked, that only the most trained eyes would ever notice it. Let's go back for a moment. In 1990, the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. Over 4.9 billion came from the Denver Mint alone, so this wasn't a rare production year by any stretch. It was one of the most common pennies in circulation. You could find handfuls of them in any coin jar. So how could one of these possibly be worth more than a luxury car? Here's where things get interesting. In that same year, the Mint also produced proof coins, highly detailed, mirror-like versions of coins made specifically for collectors. These proof coins are struck with polished dies and multiple strikes to bring out every detail. They're not meant for general circulation. They're supposed to be pristine, perfect, and marked with an S for San Francisco, where proof coins were made. But somehow, a very small number of these proof coins, or proof-like coins, ended up without the S mint mark they were supposed to have. That's already rare. But what made it even more bizarre is that somehow, coins from this proof die got mixed with circulation dies. That shouldn't happen, ever. Yet it did. Now, take that strange, unintended combination, and add a Denver D mint mark to it. What you get is something that simply should not exist. A coin that blurs the line between a proof and a circulation strike. A mistake from the mint that somehow slipped through all quality checks, ended up in someone's pocket, and went unnoticed for years, until someone finally stopped and took a closer look. That's what makes this coin so valuable. It's not just about the date or where it was made. It's about what's missing, and the unique combination of factors that gave birth to something truly one of a kind. And then there's the condition. For a coin like this to really shine in the eyes of collectors, it can't just be rare, it has to be preserved. This particular 1990 D cent, the one that stunned experts, was found in nearly flawless condition. Brilliant surfaces. No signs of wear. A perfect red copper glow that made it look like it had just come off the press yesterday. Every curve of Lincoln's profile was crisp. Every line on the memorial stood tall and sharp. The fields were smooth and reflective, almost like a mirror. And the mint mark? Perfectly struck. At first glance, the coin looked like a typical Denver penny. But under magnification, and through the eyes of someone who truly knew what to look for, it revealed its secret. The strike was proof-like. The design details slightly different. And most importantly, it carried characteristics of a coin that wasn't supposed to be released into the wild. That's what made collectors stop in their tracks. Because a coin like this doesn't come along every day. It's a reminder that even in the most mass-produced items, accidents can happen, and sometimes, those accidents turn into treasures. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, that plain little penny, the 1990 Lincoln cent, with its mystery origins, flawless surface, and impossible details, was given a coin value of $57,000. Yes. $57,000. From a single cent. And the most unbelievable part? It's still out there. Not this specific coin, but others like it. They're not locked away in museums or sealed in vaults. They could be sitting quietly in a change jar, waiting to be noticed. They might be tucked away in an old roll of pennies someone forgot about decades ago. Or maybe, just maybe, one is hiding in your collection right now. So what does this tell us? It tells us that rarity doesn't always scream for attention. Sometimes, it whispers. Sometimes, it hides behind the face of a president you've seen your entire life. Sometimes, it's a penny that no one ever saw coming. And that's why coin collecting is never just about money. It's about discovery. Curiosity. The thrill of spotting something that millions of people missed. And in the case of this coin. Moving on to the third and final coin in today's video, and this story is about how sometimes, the most ordinary, everyday objects can hide the most extraordinary secrets. This coin comes from 2001, a year that many people barely notice when it comes to coins. It's recent, common, and seemingly unremarkable. But as you'll see, this particular penny has an incredible story to tell. Before we dive into the details of this 2001 Lincoln penny, let's take a moment to appreciate just how iconic this coin really is. The Lincoln cent is more than just pocket change, it's a piece of American history that has been quietly circulating for over a century. Introduced in 1909, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, the beloved President Abraham Lincoln, and it marked a turning point in American coin design. Since then, the penny has become a symbol of everyday American life, found in cash registers, piggy banks, and the deepest corners of couches. By 2001, the penny had changed in some ways but remained fundamentally the same. It still bore Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, that familiar profile with his thoughtful gaze, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which had been the official design since 1959. But the coin's composition had shifted decades earlier. Instead of being mostly copper, the penny was now primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This change was driven by economics. Copper had become too valuable to use in pennies. Each year, billions of these pennies are minted at two locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, designated by the absence of a mint mark or a D, respectively. In 2001 alone, billions of pennies were struck and released into circulation, destined to become part of the everyday life of millions of Americans. So, at first glance, a 2001 penny looks like just any other coin you might have in your pocket right now. But within this massive production run, something extraordinary happened. A rare minting error slipped through, and it changed everything. What kind of error? An off-center strike, but not a slight one. This was a severe off-center strike. Picture the coin press as two massive steel dies coming together to stamp a blank metal disc, but if the disc isn't perfectly aligned, the image can be struck off-center, partially missing the coin's surface. Now, these off-center errors can happen in many degrees. Sometimes the image is just nudged a little to one side. But in this 2001 penny's case, nearly a third of the design simply didn't appear on the coin at all. The rest of the features, Lincoln's profile, the date, and even part of the memorial, were pushed far to one edge. It's as if the coin missed its chance to be fully printed. For most people, that might seem like a flawed, useless coin, a mistake. But for collectors, this is a rare gem. Why? Because the U.S. Mint carefully inspects coins to prevent these errors from reaching circulation. And when an error this dramatic does escape, it's incredibly rare. The combination of an extreme off-center strike with a clear date and an uncirculated surface makes it highly desirable to collectors who specialize in mint errors. Let's dig deeper into why this error penny is so special. First, the error itself is rare. Severe off-center strikes like this are estimated to occur only in a handful of coins per year. Most minor errors get caught during the quality control processes, and many severely off-center coins are rejected outright. But a few slip through the cracks, and that's where the excitement begins. Second, condition matters. Most error coins lose value if they show wear or damage. But this 2001 penny was found in pristine, uncirculated condition. Its surfaces are smooth, the copper-red color bright and vivid. It had never been spent, never handled heavily, basically, a coin frozen in time. Now, this coin's condition tells a story of how it likely sat untouched for years, perhaps lost in a coin roll or tucked away in a collection, until someone rediscovered it. Imagine the moment, someone sorting through pennies, noticing that one coin looked different. The date is clear, the mint mark visible, but the image is shifted so far that it looks like half a coin. That discovery alone sparks curiosity, and for a coin collector, excitement. Error coins like this don't just have novelty, they also represent minting history. They're physical proof of how machines can slip up, and how tiny variations create unique treasures. They connect us to the human side of coin manufacturing. Now, let's talk about the value. You might wonder, how valuable can a misprinted penny from 2001 really be? The answer might surprise you. This very rare 2001 Lincoln 1-cent penny with a severe off-center strike has been assigned a coin value of $46,000. That's right, a coin that cost just 1 cent to make is now worth tens of thousands of dollars. And with that, we conclude our exploration of 3 extraordinary pennies, the 1978D, the 1990D, and this remarkable 2001 off-center strike penny, each with a unique story and remarkable value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and want to see more incredible finds, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting video. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your curiosity alive, and happy collecting.